if we're being honest, all of us are fat to some degree. Someone just less fat than the other. That's the actual spectrum, is the weight spectrum, right? There's a fat spectrum. It's a spectrum of fatness, but there's no spectrum of genderness. See, they want to make a spectrum of all this stuff. They want to create all these terms, but we're not talking about the real spectrum, which is the spectrum of fatness, right? What's up, guys? Welcome to Let It Be Heard, where we are doers of the word, not hearers only. I'm your host, Jaden Heard, and we're going to be finding out about why losing weight is fatphobic. I am as eager to learn as y'all are. Let's get into it.
Another great question. This person was asking if there is any time in which intentional weight loss is not fatphobic. I'm going to say 99.9% of the times, if you are intentionally losing weight, it is fatphobic. I'm leaving that 0.01% in case I am truly wrong, but I don't think I am. And here's the reason why. I'm not saying if you exercise and happen to lose weight that is fatphobic.
Wait, pause it. Why? What other reason is it to exercise other than to lose weight and to be healthier? I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, some people are trying to bulk, and so they eat more, but then they exercise to gain muscle, but that's still losing fat. But I'm sorry, keep going, I guess.
I'm not saying if you start a medication and you happen to lose weight, that is fatphobic. I am not saying that if you're going through any type of, illness and that is altering your body in some way, that is fatphobic. I'm saying when you are intentionally exercising to lose weight, altering your diet to lose weight, doing any activity intentionally to lose weight is fatphobic. And the reason why is because you are intentionally attempting to make your body smaller to fit into what narrative?
Pause it. Oh, sorry. Keep going. What the narrative?
The narrative that smaller is healthier, even though we've already discussed why that's not true.
Okay, pause it. Actually, no, it is true. Actually, fat people, like the more weight you have, like the more heart issues you have, you can't move around as well. You have a lot more complications. As a matter of fact, if we look at the pandemic and what happened in 2020, the people that were dying, that were hospitalized more, and they were dying, it was because of people with heart issues, and they were obese. That's why the people that were dying for COVID were fat people. I mean, that's not like a hateful thing to say. I love fat people. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything against fat people at all. I'm just saying, from like someone who cares about people and wants the best for people, being fat is objectively worse than being skinny. Like objectively, like across the board. A fat person, can they be healthier than a skinny person? I guess technically yes, but that doesn't change the overall the general cases, right? That's the exception, not the rule. The rule is like not being fat is better. It's like, but this lady's blowing my mind. Sorry, she's just so smart. I guess she just knows more than me. So I'm gonna let her correct my propaganda. Let's see what she has to say.
I know there was another comment on this video that said something along the lines of, when I'm lighter, I don't have as many issues with my mobility.
Okay, pause it. That's someone's experience. That person is saying, in my experience, when I lost the weight that I had, I moved around a lot better, I was healthier, and I felt better about myself. This has nothing to do with other people, fat people, including you. This has nothing to do with, how does that make her fatphobic? If he or she, I don't know who it is, whoever is, like, that's their experience, that's how that made them feel. This isn't to fit a narrative that you're trying to debunk. This is their own experience. This is how it made them feel. How dare you come against someone for doing something that makes them feel good? Isn't that like the whole basis of the leftist ideology? I'll let her keep going.
And that may be a correlation, but it doesn't necessarily mean that extra weight is a causation, especially if you are not in care of somebody like a physical therapist that is specifically certified or has previously practiced physical therapy with a fat body.
Okay, pause it. Okay, so if I'm fat and I get a physical therapist, and the physical therapist tells me to lose weight, like in that, like, and what's going to happen if I do exercise is I'm going to lose weight, and that's the purpose of it. Is that still fat phobic? And is a physical therapist wrong who's certified and has the degree and everything? Like, does that change your answer? Because it seems like now that you insert, if you insert an authority who is a so-called physical therapist, then it seems like it's not as bad, which I don't understand that. It's the same beginning and the same outcome, but I guess keep going, I guess. I'll just...
And I say that because as a personal trainer with a fat body, I know that movements impact people differently based on their body size, type, shape, mobility, a million things. So pretty much no, there is no time in which intentional weight loss is not fat phobic. And that's just kind of the way it is.
That wasn't even like an argument. She didn't even argue. Like she just said, anytime someone is intentionally trying to lose weight, they are fat phobic. And the reason why that is fat phobic is because you are being okay with the narrative that if you lose weight, then you are healthier, and that is fat phobic. Do you guys see the circle there? We start with, I'll tie it for you. Losing weight is fat phobic. Intentionally losing weight. Sorry guys, intentionally losing weight, fat phobic. Why is it fat phobic? Okay, well, let's find out why it's fat phobic, okay? It's fat phobic because it fits the narrative that if you lose weight, then you're healthier, which is fat phobic. Why is that fat phobic? Because you're intentionally losing weight. Why is that? It's like I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm lost. Maybe that went over my head. But it seemed like she used a claim to argue the fact that her claim is true, but the premise of her argument to the claim was wrong, because the narrative that just because you lose weight you're healthier, I mean, that narrative doesn't necessarily exist in like the fitness world. Like, less weight doesn't equal more healthiness. Like for example, a guy's way more because they have more muscle. That doesn't mean that they're less healthier than the woman who weighs less and has the same amount of muscle, or not the same amount of muscle, but you know what I'm saying? Like the muscle that correlates with her weight. Like no one's saying that. Like, weight doesn't necessarily. It's the fatness though. Like being like, Fat Albert, or like Medea, or the girl from Rasputia from Norbit. If you guys know who that is, they may not know who that is. That's a black movie. But no, or Nutty Professor, like you know what I'm saying, like that's different than like being like 250 pounds, like me, like, you know what I'm saying. I'm just kidding. I'm like 210. That's different, but that doesn't equal healthiness, and no one's saying that. But any doctor will tell you, any physical therapist will tell you that if you weigh 400 pounds and you ain't got no muscle, and you're like less than 6 foot tall, and you're a woman, that is objectively unhealthy. That's not based on my opinion. That's not based on my bigotry. That's not based on fat phobia. That's just based on science. Like, don't you guys say trust the science? Like, isn't that like a thing that we're supposed to do? I'm sure Dr. Fauci would have something to say about that. Like, I think we should trust the science. I'm the science, right? And so, no, like it's like your argument, like it begs the question. Essentially, is what I meant to say. It begs the question. Your argument is based on a premise, and the premise itself is false, and then your argument's false because the premise is false. Neither of anything that you said in that entire video is correct. Nothing. Actually, no, the one thing you did say was like, yeah, sure, like weight doesn't mean that you're less healthy, but you're arguing it from the perspective of everyone's fat phobic. When, again, that's not true. And this is the biggest question too. People say that black people can't be racist because they're black. Can fat people be fat phobic if they're fat? Right? And if the answer is no, then explain to me a fat person trying to lose weight. Are they fat phobic? Because they're fat, but they're just becoming less fat, right? They're getting less fat. If we're being honest, all of us are fat to some degree. We're just someone just less fat than the other. That's the actual spectrum, is the weight spectrum, right? There's a fat spectrum. It's a spectrum of fatness, but there's no spectrum of genderness. See, they want to make a spectrum of all this stuff. They want to create all these terms, but we're not talking about the real spectrum, which is the spectrum of fatness, right? But anyway, lady makes a beg the question argument and acts like she did something and has like a following on TikTok, and then claims that she's like, what is she, physical therapist or something, like trainer? Mental health counselor. She needs some mental health counseling herself. Like, that's crazy. Like, saying that you're fat phobic just because you want to lose some weight. Oh, I need my spring break body, so I'm gonna go to the gym twice more this week so I can lose some extra pounds. How about this? What if I just want to eat some extra hamburgers and I go to the gym an extra day because I want to lose some weight because I want to eat some extra hamburgers? Does that make me just hate fat people? Do I just hate fat people and fatness? No. If she has some license or certificate, you need to take it away from her. Like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm 21. I don't know anything about this stuff, but I can use logic and like say like, okay, like fatness doesn't equal health, sure, but also if you're trying to lose weight, it doesn't make you fat phobic. Because that was your premise. That was your whole premise. If your premise falls apart, though, your argument is invalid. And so that whole foundation is rocky, right? So anyway, trust Christ, trust in Jesus, and read your Bibles, everybody. Have a great weekend or day or week, whatever this is. And yeah, God bless. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And be sure to hit that follow button on our RSBN channel on Rumble. And then hit that join button. It'll take you over to our locals channel where you can further support the show and get access to additional content. God bless.